Total Drama is truly an enigma. Not often are there franchises that are able to last as long as this one has. I feel like if you hit like a certain threshold of longevity, and not in terms of runtime, okay, we've had shows with tons of seasons. I mean its ability to completely reinvent itself season after season. Very few shows are able to do that, consistently changing the characters. And when you have a spin-off baby show that's just as successful, if not weirdly more successful, you're an established franchise at that point. You're just up there with Scooby-Doo and Archie comics. Ugh. But that's all the past, okay? We've seen all of this. Obviously, you're just like me. You've been intently watching every single Total Drama season, right? Right, guys? Not just me, right? No, because today I'm not talking about any of that, okay? I am talking about the reboot. Aw, yeah, look at that. Total Drama, we're back. That's right, we got Chris and Chef, he's got the marshmallows. I recognize those lights, I know where they are. That fire pit gives me anxiety to this day. That's right guys, after a few years off, it looks like we're finally getting more Total Drama Island. And I don't mean the baby show, obviously that's been running. I mean a traditional Total Drama season with competing teens on an island, probably a cash prize. Maybe it'll be in Bitcoin or something this time, I don't know. Now I called it a reboot, a lot of people are referring to it as a revival, which I think is actually more true to what it actually is. But basically we're getting a new season and they're back on the island apparently. Now I want to put a little asterisk here, take this all with a grain of salt. All of this information is coming not from like the Total Drama crew or the company that made it, but from like these promotional images that weirdly look like physical printed images announced at some conference. But it looks legit, everybody's talking about it online like it's real, and I definitely want to give my thoughts. First of all, let's get this out of the way. Yes, it has all the hallmarks of a classic Total Drama season. We got Chris, we got Chef, and apparently it's the OG island again. But the biggest bombshell of this announcement is that this season will have an entirely new cast, who have been revealed in all their glory. And dear Lord, I have a lot of thoughts. And I'm not alone, there's literally already tier lists being made online. This is the best fandom ever. Now, you might be asking, what is this season going to be about? What's the gimmick? Because before there always kind of was one. They even got to the point where they just had to parody an entirely different reality show, then deciding they just needed to stop altogether. Well, according to the official description from the released images, Chris welcomes 16 new campers to the world's worst vacation spot and cruelest reality TV show, Total Drama Island. After being divided into two teams, the Frogs of Death and the Ferocious Trout compete in their first challenge, and it promises to be painful. Some campers are prepared, some have never seen the show, and some may have an ulterior motive. Okay, I'm here for it. That's interesting. I like the idea that they recognize the show in universe, especially because the first season premiered so long ago. It would be cool if this new cast was made up of like young people now who were like OG fans of the original series, all grown up. Because realistically, these teens would have been young kids during the first season, assuming it takes place in modern day. But then again, they could just do the timeline however they want. Speaking of the cast, let's take a look. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not mad at it, but honestly, they just look AI generated at this point. Now, I think these designers definitely had an uphill battle. In the world of Total Drama OCs, and this arguably very limited art style, it's probably pretty difficult to continuously come up with fresh, new, and unique character designs, especially after how many seasons we've gotten, how many new characters, and so on. And this cast is kind of proof of that. First off, we got Priya. She looks nice. Maybe she'll be like a naive, nice character that gets voted off early. Who knows? Same with Millie. There's innocence in those eyes. Something tells me she won't last long in this hellscape of an island. Next, we have Ripper, which maybe that's a Canadian name, I don't know. He looks like Owen, I'm gonna be real. There's some Owen in him. He also looks like an asshole, so he'll probably be around for a while. Next up, we have Damien, and this guy, he's got some main character energy. Maybe it's because there's way more detail than other characters. I already feel like he's gonna be my favorite character, and he just evokes making it to the Final Four energy, but I guess we'll see. Next up, we have Axel, definitely another main character. I like the design, I like the army pants, I like the boots. She looks like a serious contestant, so I'm sure she'll make it far. Then we have Chase. He looks like a Hollister model, kind of has Noah energy, seems like he'll be picked off early, but we'll see. Then there's Z. Now maybe I'm projecting because of the name, but this guy has Ezekiel energy. Maybe it's because he has the simplest outfit ever, or he just looks kind of dumb. But I could definitely see him getting eliminated in the first few episodes. He just looks expendable like that. Next up we have Scary Girl. I guess her official name. How is this not just Gwen? Now I know everybody loves goth girls. She'll probably be like one of the most tweeted characters, but nothing gets past me, Total Drama. I know what you're doing here. Next up we have Caleb, who looks to be an absolute alpha. Judging by the promotional images, it looks like a lot of characters are going to be obsessed with him. Now we've seen Total Drama pick off the pretty boy movie star character early on before, but Caleb feels like he has some staying power. I think we'll see a lot of him this season. I'm interested to see what kind of character he's going to be. Next up, we have Nichelle and Julia. Now, I grouped them together because it looks like they're trying to go for like a friend thing here. I mean, they have the same vibe. We've seen the show do that before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're two separate characters, but either way, they both kind of look annoying, and I can see them being picked off early. Next up, we have Bowie, and yeah, he's definitely going to be one of the main campers. He just stands out with some main character energy, and I can see him making it super far. Next up, we have an actual confirmed duo, Wayne and Raj. They're wearing the same clothes. I love when Total Drama does like the best friend dynamic. It always leads to something interesting. There's a lot of directions they could take the dynamic. Maybe one of them gets voted off and the other makes it farther, or they decide to both get voted off together, or maybe they win together. I don't know. This show could be anything. Though I can't lie, I can see them getting voted off early on, but who knows? And then we have Emma. Emma's an interesting character to me. She looks like half and half. She's kind of bland, she's kind of naive, she could be voted off early, but also I could see her making it far for some reason. Now, I know nothing about their personalities, but she looks like somebody that seems nice and is actually the most evil person you've ever met, and I'd love if they went in that direction. And finally, we have MK, who just looks like a super cool individual. Again, maybe because there's a little more detail put into her design, but she looks like she has some serious staying power. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like they're just gonna make it really far. Again, there's just like a little bit more detail put in their design, so they feel like one of the main characters. But once again, I think we'll just have to wait and see. Now, looking at this entire cast, what do I think of them as a whole? Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad. It looks like a total drama cast. There's some characters I can tell I'm gonna like already, and some I can already tell are just gonna be voted off, so I don't really have to form an opinion. But that being said, I still have a lot of questions, and I'm not the only one. A lot of people are wondering why they're going with a new cast at all, instead of just bringing back the OG cast or the fan favorites, especially if this is gonna be a reboot or a revival of the original series, and they're going back to the original island with the same two hosts. Now, I'm not mad that they rebooted the cast. I think that's one of the coolest things about Total Drama. Every season's so different, even occasionally getting an entirely new cast, or at the very least some new characters. What I'm wondering though more than anything is what merits this as a revival and not just another season. I mean, literally, what separates this from Revenge of the Island or Pakatu Island? Why is that considered another season of the original series? And if you haven't noticed, it seems like they're just referring to this as Total Drama Island. There's no subtitle, there's no differentiation. Is this gonna be like a weird soft reboot? I mean, like, what about the rest of the lore in the series? Do the original characters even exist anymore? Is that gonna be like an in-joke in the series? How has Chris not aged at all? Is he magic? And don't get me wrong, I know why they're doing another series, and I know why they're just making it like the original. Total Drama's always been relevant, but I feel like in these last few years, it's kind of just had like a renaissance on TikTok and in the popular culture, because the kids that grew up watching it are now older, and it's kind of nostalgic to everybody. And I'm gonna be real, these are some of the most iconic characters in late 2000s animation. This is a huge franchise. It's persisted for years. And if everybody's nostalgic for the OG, then why not just kind of do that again? I see what they're doing. And I'm not mad there's a new cast, I guess I'm just kind of curious as to how it's gonna pan out. Especially because I feel like there's a little bit of a wasted opportunity here if they don't bring back any of the OG cast. Like, don't get me wrong, you don't have to make them compete anymore, okay? We had All-Stars, we did that already, but they could have done something really cool and like meta with this. Maybe the original cast all returns to the island as adults, and the whole thing could be like a meta commentary on revivals and reboots. That would have been interesting to see, but instead I feel like they're playing it kind of safe. Now, I do think there's a good chance we're going to see some cameos from fan favorite characters in the series. They'd be stupid not to, but I can't help to feel like there's a little bit of wasted potential if they were going to just call it a revival and not just a brand new season. That being said though, that's really all the information we have right now. Besides the general announcement and these promotional images, we really don't know what this is going to look like or what it's going to be, so I'm going to hold back my speculation a little bit and just wait for the news to come out as it does. But I'm not mad at this, I'm excited to see where it goes, and as always, I'd love to hear what you guys think. How do you feel about a revival? Let us know in those comments down below, or tweet to us at Roundtable Vids. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop with all things animation. As always guys, I'm Nemo, this is a cartoon news video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.